After an historic international break for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we return to club action this weekend. The English Premier League takes center stage as Chelsea, without coach Enzo Maresca, will travel to face Nottingham Forest, who are looking for their first win under a new manager, Ange Postecoglou. In a historic night for Alex Iwobi, he faces his former club as Fulham welcome Arsenal, hoping to dent Arsenal's early title ambition. This weekend, Iwobi could become the most capped Nigerian player ever in the Premier League if he features against his boyhood club when the both sides meet. Manchester City will play against Everton, a side who have been stubborn, and Crystal Palace will be hoping to return to winning ways as the weekend promises to give us plenty of surprises. Before the international break, we saw Liverpool beaten by Chelsea, and we also saw Crystal Palace lose their unbeaten start to this season. So as it stands, Arsenal's invincible is intact as no team will break it this season. Uncanny Sam and the Bishop are back after an historic international break for both men. One doesn't believe that it was historic, but the other knows that it's an historic international break for Nigeria. But let's leave the Super Eagles aside and let's talk about European football this time around as the Premier League makes a return. For Chelsea, for the fourth game in a row, they will be there without one player or the other, but this time they are without their manager, Enzo Maresca, who was sent off as Chelsea lunchtime kickoff, guys. It is Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. I am tempted to say that Ange Postecoglou will get his first win against this Chelsea side, simply because the Blues somehow are a bad team after the international break, but big game this weekend for both sides. And either way, Chelsea need to consolidate. With Liverpool playing against Manchester United, anything could happen. They need to close the gap on the top of the table.
Probably your crystal ball. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the crystal ball you've actually been consulting has, I don't know, maybe the international weekend has done something to aid. Because for you to say Chelsea is going to lose again, I don't see that happening. The momentum we saw the last time, the way they played last time, without practically everybody, and with one or two guys that will be back, even if these guys are going to be by the sideline, it's not going to be difficult. See, this team, this present Nottingham Forest team is in shambles. There's nothing good about this Nottingham Forest team. The worst thing that happened to them is letting go their coach, De Santos. There was no point letting him go. We saw the amazing job he did last season with the positive resources he has in his kitty. What's the name of that he's on? Whatsoever probably enters him and
Marinakis.
No, the first name Evangelos. Yeah, whatsoever probably hits him and makes him feel like I can do without you. Then he's gonna see it. I'm not saying Ange is a bad coach, but Ange cannot manage what this guy managed.
What else? No did.
And the worst of it all, a lot of depletion. A lot of guys left the team. One or two guys left the team.
And the team injured. And they're struggling.
And they're struggling. And he has played how many games? I think 6 games so far.
Not a single win.
Drew just 2, lost the remaining. And he's going to continue for the longest time. If there's one thing that I'm probably certain that might go to relegation, not this season, sincerely speaking, I think Nottingham Forest might go to relegation. Because I don't know what they're going to be doing in January. But you don't make such huge blunder. We understand you own this team, but come on, there is more to this than you just owning this team. This guy has managed this team very well. He came close to going to Champions League, last season. They are in Europe right now, courtesy his effort, not because you've actually invested so much. No, they want to give me
2 draws.
Okay, they draw, 2 draws, They were in Europe, courtesy Nuno Espirito. De Santos. What happened? We saw it last season. We saw how he confronted him. Even though they came back and said, no, they were talking about, what was his name?
Awoni's.
But we know that it wasn't about Awoni's injury because we know that game, they were supposed to win that game. Winning that game would have actually consolidated their place in going to Champions League. So they lost that game. He walked onto the field of play and he was talking to his employer as if he doesn't know what he's doing. Look, if you know this job, stop being the owner. Come and manage this team. Now he's going to pay for it dearly. If there's one thing that I'm so certain, I pity Aina. The good thing is if this team is going to relegation, Aina is going to remain there. Aina will leave that team. So I don't see this team defeating Chelsea. I don't see. With the momentum also from Chelsea, with what I'm beginning to see Chelsea doing, I'm not saying Chelsea is there yet, but come on, Chelsea is not going to be losing game like this. They shouldn't lose game like this. I understand that they lost against Brighton, and probably you're looking, but that's a different game completely. What we saw in their last game, coming back from the international break, no injury. I understand that there could be jet lag, but come on, amazing Chelsea side.
There's no Kopama. There's no Badiashile. It's out till November to December. Badiashile is also out to December. Yeah. And Badiashile was one of Chelsea's standout player in the last game against Liverpool. Only recently returned for the last 2 games.
I was watching that match again yesterday night. And I was like, come on, this dude is good. He's so calm. Like for the first time, I'm saying this dude is good. He has never been. I've never said he's good. You understand? Until I watched him again.
Have you read a book called One Off?
It could be because he had an amazing game.
Yeah.
You know what?
So you think he's one of? But she's one of.
It could be because he had an amazing game.
You just wake up on the good side of your bed. And
and you had an amazing. Fine.
That's just one of it. Badiashile is absolutely a junkie player. Absolute rubbish. Gibberish.
That's my thought.
Anyway,
I watched him.
Absolutely, but let's not focus on the game personally. I think yes, you said no matter Reska, he'll be £1 million, $8,000 less richer. He has to pay that to the FA for. But again, these rules again, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. These rules are crazy stuff.
I think it's sickening.
How do you go celebrate still? By the way, you took a yellow card in the first half, which you could have avoided anyway. I just take that one for the culture because he has picked up the yellow card already. That one now sounds really bad. Like, come on, but again, these are things the game. I think we're taking away the soul and the emotion from the game so much, and it's making the game look a bit too rigid and robotic. These guys are human beings. They've got blood flowing through their vein. It's an emotional game. You can't score a goal in the night. I don't forget the last time I was suspended was the same issue. His team scored in the 96th minute. He ran again. I was suspended. You can't take this from the game. Mourinho would have been gotten like 800 red cards. This was
introduced because I remember back then.
Recently, just to avoid, they'll tell you the decorum, a way a coach need to present himself to the fans. But how does that diminish his personality in front of the fans? I don't get it, man. Again,
never even know about this rule until
I don't get it. But anyway, like you said, Chelsea coming in from the international break, lots of injury problem. We must say
the injury problem were there before the international break.
I agree.
And with the injury problem, they were able to overcome Liverpool in a convincing manner.
Again, it could be a one-off.
It can be a one-off.
And I was explaining to you why
it cannot be a one-off.
Liverpool, we've seen Chelsea over the years, but for a very long time. They tend to step against the big team, even if they are playing with 18 injured players. We saw Mourinho train his squad against Liverpool in that slip of Gerrard. And they beat Liverpool at the Anfield. The team who was going for the title by 2 goals to nil. It's the Chelsea way. They start against
So you think that Chelsea are not there yet?
I still think there's a lot of work to be done.
I agree with you. I just have a lot of work to be done.
They will struggle against
Forest, I think they should be. But if they struggle, I will not be surprised.
Now you're not even getting me right. I'm saying against this side. I'm actually
very poor.
Against the Nottingham Forest side. I don't see Chelsea. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Chelsea. I said at the end of my.
It could be Forest springboard back to.
I don't see that happening. But if it happens,
if Chelsea lets Nottingham Forest beat them, then that sets a precedent. Chelsea. A finished article, because I'll tell you the truth. Ange has not inspired much confidence, even at Tottenham Hotspur. It looks like his team he plays so expansive football that it makes Thomas Frank look like a certain Pep Guardiola right now at Tottenham Hotspur. So for me, because Ange wants to attack, despite him losing games, he wants to say, okay, let's go have a go at each other. That's his style. Chelsea has no reason not to exploit them. Again, but I said if Chelsea would falter, I would not matter, because with Enzo Maresca, this Chelsea team are like NEPA light. Today they are on, next month they are off. You can't seem to beat your chest and say, this is what you're going to get. And something that's how sad it is.
Well, we'll wait to see how that pans out for the Blues. Unfortunately, it could just be sad for Chelsea as they play away at Nottingham Forest this weekend. Okay, Sam? Cole Palmer out for Chelsea till November. Not a good one for the Blues.
Not a good one for them. He's the soul of that team. But come on, they've been doing it without him too. So I think they defeated Manchester United without him.
They lost to Manchester United.
Okay, they lost to Manchester United. Sorry, yeah. I mean, they lost to Manchester United, but they beat Liverpool without him. And I mean, how many points now? 11. Arsenal that is leading. How many points?
16.
Just 2 games. This is it means we do without him. Chelsea has actually found a way of doing things. I remember when they relied heavily on him, but that's no longer the case again. Take it or leave it.
You didn't sign it.
More. I mean, I agree that the bulk of these guys are in the team are average guys. I will never change my opinion on that fact. Yeah, I'm not gonna, like you said, one of performance, one hit wonder, right? But it still doesn't change the fact that they are doing it without him. And I expect them to continue doing it without him. We saw what they did to Benfica without him. They came back and did the same to Liverpool without him. Then I guess Nottingham Forest, him being there or not, it's not going to be a problem. It's just that, but as time goes on, it might affect the team. But for now, it's not going to affect the team.
See, it has to. He's the most creative player at Chelsea. And we've seen that in the past 2-3 years that if he's not playing.
I think the biggest issue should be what is going on with our Pedro. I think that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
You are attacking now.
He's
not even, he has been so flat. How many goals so far this season? 3. How many games played? And nobody talks about him. Not like you talk about Gyökeres. No, yeah, before now. But yes. I mean, when was his name? Sesko was not scoring. Nobody gave him any excuse. When Gyökeres is not scoring.
He started the season on a high.
Look, Gyökeres started this. Gyökeres came into the Premier League on a very high too. Same thing with Sesko. So same thing with him. They are almost on the same distance. He's not doing. I think that should be the biggest problem. They should find a way of making him useful again.
Get him
could he be a mid-table player too?
Of course.
Could he be a mid-table? Because what we saw in the World Cup, was it just a cameo?
No, this was a player that has never scored 15 goals in the season.
Yeah.
So it's not new.
But again, because you could argue that the fact that
because he was not with the right team.
Exactly. Probably with the right player. And that's why I think, no matter how you want to say it, there was a bromance between Cole Palmer and Joao Pedro at the Club World Cup because he's the most creative player.
And he also did that a bit with Liam Delap.
Exactly. So for me,
probably not having the right personnel.
Cole Palmer has to return. For I think to get the best of Joao Pedro, Cole Palmer has to return because all those direct passes. See, sometimes no disrespect to the likes of Estava Willian or this guy Pedro Neto. They are direct players. They cut the shoot. They will never lay this ball up in front of you. But Cole Palmer once in a while will just drop it late, put it on the platter, and the ball he will score goals. I think he's a player that needs it. Most of the times, if you check the games Chelsea has played recently, he's more of a passenger because the results have not come. And that's why I know we're arguing this on Gyökeres. Why did you go back and get the ball? But that's not Pedro for you. He's one of the laziest players I know, but he's efficient and effective. So for me, let's wait and see what happens when Palmer returns. But before then, he needs to find himself to get useful and start scoring goals.
Well, prediction, Chelsea, Forest, Chelsea.
Well, I'm going with a 3-1.
3-1.
In favor of Chelsea.
And I like the fact he ensured that Chelsea would concede because every day I watch Chelsea play, it just happens. I don't know. When are they going to concede? First half, second half? Chelsea will just scrape to 2-1 victory.
Well, 2-1 victory for the Bishop, 3-1 for Uncanny Sam. Well, it means one thing is certain. Both men have said put your money on it. Both sides to score. And if you end that way, you just put your money in your pocket and smile. But let's go to the Craven Cottage. This weekend, Fulham take on Arsenal. An important game for both sides in the London derby. I think Arsenal's third London derby back to back.
I don't know what the plan is.
Just started the season with
London, and Arsenal having their field.
Arsenal have now picked it up. Fulham will be a tough side. Alex Iwobi, Milestone, 299 Premier League appearance. Absolutely impressive.
You can't remember how long this guy is. To be honest, this guy looks old.
One may say that he has not scored 30 goals a season, 25 goals a season, but you cannot take away Iwobi's longevity in the Premier League.
The same player. Whether we like it or not, he could be over and on sometimes, but he's not going to change that because we're human. Even Messi in his glorious day used to be over and on at some point.
For the first time, this guy on Saturday decided to cut somebody a slack. I say he's human.
Right?
I love that.
Even at the peak of Messi, consistency is what defines great players. But even at that, no matter consistency, there are days that you look a bit off. Take that away from you. From him, amazing player.
Yeah.
He's the soul of that team right now.
149 appearance with Arsenal, 140 appearance with Everton, and already 85 appearance with Fulham. But it just shows one thing. Regardless of where he's played football, Iwobi's been consistent.
Yeah, he's been consistent.
No manager has been able to put him on the bench.
No, not consistently. No, not at all. I think at some point in Everton, he was on the bench.
Like, yes.
At some point, but not consistently.
He became the best player overnight.
When you watch him at times, he looks a bit.
A lot. Yeah. He played last a lot, right?
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Notice how he became one of the players who was always still the best, becoming their best player. I know when he was leaving, the fans almost went on the riot. Like, how would he let Iwobi leave when moving to Fulham?
In Arsenal, funny enough, I always question his ability. But leaving Arsenal, I saw he defend Iwobi. In Arsenal, I always question his ability.
Maybe he was spoon-fed at Arsenal.
Yeah?
He was spoon-fed at Arsenal. And then when he left...
He wasn't doing much. But now he's doing much.
I thought I was trying to pamper him. Then it was the cameo of the cousin of JJ or Kocha. But I think he snapped out of that when he got to Everton. I realized that this is a reality check.
But the base of Iwobi has been with Fulham.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, let's go to the game
for
Arsenal.
Yeah.
On top of the table, 16 points, riding high.
I like the way you say that. It sounds good in your mouth, you know? You see Arsenal, top of the table, riding high.
You didn't borrow time for elephant on top table.
But it sounds nice.
You lose to Fulham. You lose to Fulham this weekend. Liverpool win, that's the end.
No. When we beat Liverpool, Fulham this weekend, Liverpool drop points. The gap increases. It's simple logic.
It could be that way. Just remind him something. Remind him something. No. Just know I'm talking about you. You remember going into the Newcastle game.
Yeah.
He's saying he sees Arsenal being 8 points behind Liverpool.
I told him, relax.
Arsenal ended up being just 2 points behind Liverpool.
After that game, and then the rest is history.
Like
international break. I feel the reason why Nigeria even did well because of Arsenal.
Well, international break, one man was a passenger for Sweden. Well, he needs to start scoring goals, guys.
Yeah, he has to start scoring goals.
He has to.
Whether I would like it or not.
Just like just the same thing we've said about your Pedro. You were bought to. Now the thing is this, right? I said it on a different episode.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna repeat it. You were not bought to score against Chelsea, Liverpool, Man U on this. No, you were bought to score.
Fulham,
Nottingham Forest, the Fulham, the Newcastle. You understand those mid-table teams because Arsenal always find the way of scoring those big teams. Last season, Arsenal were able to take out 20 points from the big teams. But guess who Arsenal lost to? West Ham. Bournemouth home and away. So those are the teams you're supposed to be scoring. And this is one of those teams, Fulham. For the past 2 seasons, seasons ago, for the past 2 seasons, the reason why Arsenal couldn't do so much, particularly 2 seasons ago, part of the reason why Arsenal couldn't win the league because Arsenal dropped point against them at home in December. Then I think in January to February they couldn't drop point again at
the Craven Cottage last season. So Achilles heel.
Same thing happened with what do you call them, Newcastle. But this season we saw a different thing. Look, I don't expect anything less than because this is a different Arsenal side. Whether I like it or not, you want to say no, and you might have your reservation, but realistically on paper, no matter how you want to look at it, I don't see this Arsenal losing against a Fulham team this time.
Let's go from this point. I like. See, we need to shake hands sometimes and share some drinks, outside of the studio because he says
Arsenal.
No, see, let me say
what is special about Arsenal?
The word special is Arsenal.
Everything.
The word special is Arsenal itself. Because, like you said, look at the team, the quality of the team. I don't feel like you say Fulham have been our Achilles heel. Fulham have tormented us in the past, but so did Newcastle, so did West Ham. What happened? Put down the radar. That's the Arsenal of 2025-2026 season.
Just a subtle reminder before you continue. Just remind him that even though Gyökeres didn't score, the number of goals Arsenal players scored during the international break is about 6 or 7, I think.
Yes. Listen, the goal is shared across board.
Only Osimhen scored 3. So what's special?
I mean, this guy scored 3 too. What was his name? This guy scored 3 too. What was his name? Maybe no. 2 in one game, 1 in another. Yeah.
Our auxiliary striker. He's doing this.
No, I think 2.
We'll try with Gyökeres for that. When we get to play teams like Manchester City, Liverpool, we bring our auxiliary striker. But truth remains, let me say, on a frank note, like you said, as much as Everton and Fulham has got some good players. See, I think they're one of the most exciting teams to watch because they can play with
them. Bournemouth,
they're very exciting. They make the game look very nice. I used to call them they're television friendly teams. Yeah. But when they play against the top teams, they try to make it look interesting. But come on, this Arsenal will be too powerful for them. They will have a go, but at the end of the day, Arsenal will huff and Arsenal will puff. And I can assure you that Arsenal will blow the house down. They go to come.
The truth is this. See. It's just like what we saw during the international break, right? When Nigeria knew we need to win and they win.
Yeah.
Arsenal knew they need to win.
These are games they need to win.
These are games that they can't afford to falter.
The player knows. They played teams in the earlier part and they find a way to navigate
generally where they are right now.
They must win.
7 games into the season, you can't afford to falter.
You can't drop points.
And look at the gap between them and even the Manchester United that have not been doing very well. Barely 6 points.
Yeah, just 6 points.
Just 6 points.
It's not that much. Yes. So this is from 9 history. They know they can't afford to drop any point.
Arsenal must set the marker.
Was dropping of their point. The point they've actually dropped so far. Is it justified to some extent? You said no.
Yeah, no.
Liverpool, no.
They should win
Man City, no.
They should win the game.
Out of those 2 games, Arsenal should have probably get 4 points.
From those 2 games.
Yes.
From those 2 games.
I agree. Probably they should have gotten something from the Liverpool game.
And against Man City. Yeah, this thing. Somehow. So now they know that, look, the season is growing older. And they can't afford to drop point again.
But Fulham are currently 14th. I'm not quite sure. Fulham are currently 14th in the Premier League and have scored 8. I've considered 11 goals. They're a side that will always concede.
Yeah.
Now Arsenal are one of the top scorers in the Premier League. They've scored 14 goals.
The Gunners
have considered just 3.
So they are the top scorers
in the Premier League
the statement.
and have the best defense.
Thank you very much.
Just be pompous. That's
and,
not on the table.
And guess what? With Gyökeres not scoring.
Wow. And when he gets a hat-trick this weekend.
There's something I want to say to Arsenal.
Wow.
To Arsenal.
Please
See, I'm not disputing that Gyökeres is a good striker. Let me use it fantastic. He cannot score 25 goals in Premier League. Never.
Yet to see.
Please, guys, keep this tape.
We'll
wait. By the time we get to...
wait now.
If
Gyökeres plays 6 seasons in the Premier League, 6, he will not score 25 in a single season, any of the 6.
Please record this.
See, it should be kept.
Keep this.
I understand. Maybe
keep this.
See,
but
1920, I will take it.
I'm coming.
25.
Does he need to score 25 to win the league?
No, I'm not saying no. I'm just giving you
let me
how
put his
good.
tire. Let me put this in. I understand that this guy did 9 seasons and he scored more than probably 20 just twice.
Yes.
More than 15 just twice. So probably he's looking at it from that. He still doesn't. We're talking about scoring.
No, but I'm not even doing the debate.
We are talking about winning. We're talking about scoring. We're not talking about winning the league first. You understand? We're not talking about winning. We are talking about scoring.
But there's a possibility Gyökeres plays 6 seasons in the Premier League.
Until that happens,
and doesn't get to 100 goals.
See, until that happens, right?
Essential. When he starts blowing out,
that happens for now. That of Drogba has happened. So we're using Drogba as a case because it has happened already, right? So probably because you
don't need to score 25 goals to win. You don't need to get your 19-20 goals. Others will help you, and Arsenal will be crowned champions at the end of the season.
I'm not trying to be a spokesperson, right? But I'm going to be disappointed if your coach does not score more than 25 goals this season. I'm going to be disappointed. Yeah, in the Premier League. I'm going to be disappointed.
The Arsenal, I try to use that name.
No, he's going to gradually grow into.
Yeah, he'll grow into the game.
If,
he would.
If an injury reading Kai Havertz can score 12 goals in the season.
He should be able to do better.
So you should double that number.
Yes.
Well, we'll continue to see it and see how Gyökeres will do for Arsenal this weekend. Of course, the Gunners go to Craven Cottage to face Fulham. A win for Arsenal, of course, keep them at the top of the table. Nobody's touching that garment anytime soon. They are enjoying themselves. Their Spurs are in third position, and City, Bournemouth in that order. But guys, other games in the Premier League quickly. Sunderland will play with Wolverhampton Wanderers. I feel for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
I feel for Tolu Kodare.
See, let me not be a sore loser. I really don't rate Tolu. Manchester City play Everton. Nothing to expect. Should be an easy win. Easy win for Pep Guardiola.
You think so?
City against Everton. I think so.
Wow. You think so?
I think so.
That's going to be surprise of the weekend.
That could be the surprise of the weekend.
That could be surprise of the weekend.
At the end of
You think it could be surprised?
Yes. It could be surprise.
With the fact that they are riding high, the form is on a all-time high.
We saw the struggle against Brentford.
Exactly.
Before the international break.
Yes.
The scrappy goal and somehow they won.
Jack Grealish and the rest of them.
No, I'm talking about
both of them both had scrappy wins.
Yeah, scrappy wins. And Everton has not been doing too bad.
Yes.
So we're talking about here. So they're almost at par now.
At this level,
they're almost at par.
Oh boy, how the mighty fall.
Well, Palace hope to return to winning ways against the Bournemouth side, but they have Anton Semenyo, the Premier League best player so far this season, in my book.
Yeah,
to contend with. Fantastic player to contend with. We've got Burnley play Leeds United. Both sides should match themselves evenly. Brighton take on Newcastle United. Fulham take on Arsenal. Spurs against Aston Villa. Liverpool, Manchester United. And of course, West Ham against Brentford. Guys, I'll ask you quickly, run it through for me. Just give me a prediction for the Premier League game this weekend. Forest, Chelsea.
Like I said, 3-1. I've said it already.
No, so Sunderland, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
A draw, 1-0.
Man City, Everton.
2-0 draw.
It just seemed what I said.
Palace, Bournemouth.
Palace to beat Bournemouth by 2-1.
Burnley, Leeds.
That's another. Burnley has not been doing too badly, but Leeds has been a bit effective.
That's a draw game now.
It shouldn't be a draw.
Evenly matched.
Burnley should win 2-1.
2-1
by the skin of their teeth.
Burnley should win, yeah.
Brighton, Newcastle.
Ooh, that's a game. And as much as I want Newcastle to break the duck and get their first win, I say on that draw. That game, I say on that draw. The 2-2 draw.
Of course, Fulham Arsenal. There's no brainer. 6-1, 5-1.
No. Come on, 3-0.
3-0.
I don't see Arsenal conceding. That's one thing I'm certain.
Spurs Villa.
I'll be shocked if they do.
So you cannot.
I won't do that. But I need to get him something to drink. He needs to clear his throat.
So she won 5-0.
He's spot on.
3-0.
He's a nice guy. Aston Villa top Spurs. Aston Villa are back. They got their first win last time out.
Yeah.
Villa Park. And as much as I don't think Emery is the real deal.
It's at Spurs.
Spurs should get to find a way to win that game 2-1.
Well, Thomas Frank.
Kudus.
Thomas Frank, Kudus. I just don't know why I feel that Villa will get something from that game.
How?
Well, that's it. I don't see it's the fact that they are coming back at the right time.
Yeah.
Spurs are not convincing.
But when Aston Villa got that their big win, they got sorted by the break.
The way Spurs started the season.
International break. So
I expected you've beaten Manchester City. Beginning of season. Continue with the form. And then they're doing and then they are back to it. But wait to see how the Premier League pans out this weekend. March the 8th will take place. And of course, there's also Monday Night Football in the Premier League as West Ham play host to Brentford. West Ham under a new manager are hoping to find his first win as coach of West Ham United. Talking about the former coach of Nottingham Forest, Nuno Espirito Santo. But the big game in the Premier League this weekend is Liverpool up against Manchester United. Football Tempo brought to you by Azar Studio.